Welcome back, everybody. It has been a while since I've done a vlog outside the theme parks, but I'm bringing you guys along with me to check out a store that's been on my radar for a while, Recycling the Magic. Why don't you guys come along? Let's go make some memories together. Located about 30 minutes from Walt Disney World out in Oakland, Florida, Recycling the Magic is a vintage store that buys and sells Disney Parks props and collectibles from yesteryear. And if you're familiar with Lakeland Antique Mall out in Lakeland, Florida, Recycling the Magic was a staple there for many, many years, and now they finally have their own retail location. If there's one thing I love about the Disney Parks, it's extinct things from the Disney Parks. Even the most minute and seemingly random object can hold so much history and importance to these parks. Some extinct attractions I'm hoping to find some memorabilia for here in this store. Splash Mountain, of course, that's gonna be a big one. Extraterrestrial Encounter would be a very fun one to find because I do like that attraction. Horizons out at Epcot. There are so many things that the company has done away with that everyone finds incredibly nostalgic. But why don't we head inside? Let's see what we can find today. Okay, not gonna lie, a little overwhelming already. And I also don't want to speak very loud because I don't want to be disruptive to anything, but there's already so much to look at. It's a very, very small space, but there's no section that's not filled with something that already looks really cool. So starting off, we have this really, really cool circus-themed Mickey Mouse. He was from Mickey's 75th, and they said that there were 75 of these Mickeys that were created for the birthday. Different corporations, different companies could buy it and design however they wanted it. So this actually belongs to Chris Fedden of Jump 5, which I was a Jump 5 kid growing up, which is just weird seeing that he would have chosen one. But yeah, somehow it ended up here, and it's just that I wonder where the other 74 went. And right behind the Mickey, we've got some character costume parts. So Tigger, either Chip or Dale, and then this, I'm assuming, is Brer Fox. So we've already found our first item for Splash Mountain since we're in here. Oh no, I'm sorry, it's actually Brer Bear. They've got the little barcode on there. I don't see a price tag on this Splash Mountain Brer Bear one, but up here, this Tigger one, I don't know if you guys can see the price tag on this one, it's near $3 grand. $3 grand for a large Tigger foot. There's a bunch of buttons and a bunch of pins and a bunch of patches and stuff. I could spend hours just digging through this to find all the cool little unique things. Ooh, here's one for Spin and Marty for the Triple R Ranch. This was an old TV show, and you can actually still find references to Triple R Ranch over in Toy Story Land. I don't remember why it's over in Toy Story Land, but you can find that logo, I think, in 2 different places. Giant tower full of a bunch of different buttons, and they're only $1 too, so I might end up actually going home with one of these today if I can find something really cool, because the first one I saw was Roger Rabbit, and I do really like Roger Rabbit. I actually found Alien Encounter merchandise. I'm buying this. Ooh, there's even a whole bucket full of Sorcerers of the Magic Kingdom cards. You would take these cards over to specific windows over in Magic Kingdom and all the different lands, and you would use these cards to battle against the villains, and it was like a cool AR experience. Like, you'd hold the card out in front of you like that, and it would like read, and then this card would be the Woozle Woozle Nightmare, and they would use this attack on those villains, and you would just defeat every single one. It was very, very cool. And of course, more stuff for Splash Mountain, including one of the heads of the old logs, and then there's a big Brer Rabbit right there. That's so cool. I found a very cool button for Dino Land, and I was like, hey, maybe that's cheap. No, this button alone is $25, so adorable, and now extinct, but that's a little outside my price budget, but very, very cool. They have a legit Dumbo ride vehicle in here. It looks so much larger when it's not with the attraction. Like, Richard Pryor is doing a great job of modeling it for us, but that is absolutely massive. That's so cool. And then right next to it is a Storybook Circus trash can, which, if you guys are familiar with how crazy us Parks fans can be, trash cans, which are seemingly meaningless, are very meaningful to us. Hidden Mickey, Hidden Mickey. I didn't even notice this, but where the Hidden Mickeys are at, this front grate grill of a car, or I guess a truck, this is from Catastrophe Canyon. This is from MGM Studios, or Disney Hollywood Studios, for the backlot tour, the car or truck that exploded and the canyon flooded. They have literally everything here. More Dino Land things from over at Chester and Hester's. If you happen to miss one of the popcorn buckets or sippers of the last few years, they do have some. Some of these are actually pretty recent too, like Valentino, and you can actually still get this one, this Timon, at the parks right now. Other extinct things, Camp Mini Mickey sign from Disney's Animal Kingdom. That is now where Pandora is. So this place is kind of divvied up into a bunch of different little rooms. It very much feels like a museum, and it's actually pretty popular. There's a lot more people here than I thought there was going to be, but I guess we'll explore this little tiny room first since no one's in here. We'll start here. First thing that caught my eye is, of course, some Dino Land stuff. We've got Donald's Dino Bash, this big medallion here, and then we've got a whole bunch of like Dino Institute things that are just on this shelf. Like we've got a book for Countdown Extinction, which is what the attraction was called before it was switched over to Dinosaur. There's a little name tag, and I guess just merch in general for Lucky the Dinosaur. He was a little walk-around character that was in Animal Kingdom's very, very early days. I really, really, really like that Dino Land patch, but I know that's going to be very expensive. And randomly, E.T. is here, not Disney and not Dino Land, but there's like a little maquette or model face of E.T. Whole host of vintage Mickey Mouse Clubhouse toys. Like I really like this little walking xylophone player. I don't know if it's the drum or if it's this one, but it says $4,000. There's a very cool figure of the Sky Buckets. I would assume this is the Magic Kingdom one. This is actually over where near Rapunzel's bathrooms is, the Tangled bathrooms. There was a launching point over in Fantasyland. It'll take you all the way over to Tomorrowland, and the Tomorrowland station is on top of the restrooms that are over near like Space Mountain. And they've been long gone, but it's cool seeing that like there's enough history and desire to have something for the Skyway Buckets. Those are the tiniest Pain and Panic figures I've ever seen. Whole host of very, very, very old Snow White things. And I was looking through everything. I was like, oh, that's so normal. Very cool. Again, very normal things. Why does Dopey have a shooting game? Is he shooting the squirrels? Is he shooting the dwarves? I wonder who gave him a gun in general. They have stuff for Tapestry of Nations. This was the Epcot parade that was for the Millennium. And we've got like one of the puppets there, one of the puppets there, this giant poster in the back, and then I believe this was one of the floats for the festival, and someone actually bought it, which is cool, and they have a little sold tag to show what people's interests are. There's some more things over here, like a pin set for the different tapestries, and then like a pop-up book style display for the 2000, for the Millennium Celebration. They're in the middle of assessing the value of these, but these were released as part of a promo for the new Country Bear Musical Jamboree show. So they've got the Country Bears in all their new outfits, and the official attraction poster is behind it. So if that's cheap enough, I might be taking it home because I never got the chance to get one of those. But I love the new version of Country Bears. I love Park Stars just in general, so that's really cool that they have that here. I oddly haven't seen a lot of things for Figment, but here's this really cute figure. A Figment with his paintbrush and his little easel. And lots of buttons. $35 for a button. I wish this was cheaper, I'd buy it. Oh, it's so cute though. Happy 21st birthday at Walt Disney World. Behind their counter is an original map of the resort, or how they envisioned it in 1971. So these were in the bedrooms of the Polynesian and the Contemporary, and it doesn't quite look exactly how we have it now. Like you have the Magic Kingdom up there, and then you've got the Polynesian right here, and then the Contemporary, but then you have the, what would have been the Italian resort, you've got the Persia resort, which is now kind of where like Tron is, and then over here is, you've got the Asia resort, which is where the Grand was eventually built. And then, oh, the campgrounds are also over there, and then there's Discovery Island. And then right next to the poster is this old figure. So there's one of Mickey, and there's one of Donald. And these are, I was told, old King Cole pieces. These were like from the 1930s and would have been used outside of like a Macy's or like another department store to like kind of bring people in. So you can see Mickey's hand would have moved, and then Donald's hand would have moved as well. There's also Pluto one above here, and his head would have moved. So it's crazy to think these are almost 100 years old and in really, really great condition. They pointed out these two pieces of artwork. These are from Mary Blair, who's responsible for things like It's a Small World and the Contemporary Resort, amongst other things. But it almost doesn't even look like her art style. I would have never guessed this was her. But this one is valued at $11,000. And this one is called The Little House, and they said this is actually what Up was conceptualized to be based off of. So you got the city that kind of built around it, and then that would be like Carl Fredrickssen's house. And then this was $12,000. This actual whole wall is just full of different cells and art from the films. So here's one of Kanga. It says this is an original hand-painted celluloid drawing actually used in a Walt Disney production. Some preview tickets for cast members for when Rock and Roller Coaster first opened. So I think, what, 99, I think? It's all the same thing over and over and over again. That's cool that they would have handed these out for cast members to turn in when they rode the attraction. And that's getting ready to change over to Muppets, so Aerosmith's going away and we're getting Electric Mayhem instead now. Moving into this much larger room in the back, and if I thought that first room was overwhelming, there's a lot in here. It looks like it's a lot more toy-related things in here. The whole top is lined with all these different characters, and these look like they could have been inside the Disney store. If you guys remember Disney store from the 90s, they had the pink and green stores that were full of these figures in the roofs and or the ceiling and in the entryways, and some of them would move, and it's cool seeing them. Like, I know we still have some of these in the parks, like it's very few of them, but it's cool seeing all the different ones. Oh my gosh, the Duffy outfits, I'm crying. Those are so cute. I don't remember these at all. Oh, they're so cute. If you've been to the Tokyo Disneyland resorts, they have a bunch of different amenities from those hotels. Like, you can get the Toy Story Hotel toothbrush, or the little, like, amenity kit. It's weird seeing these in person, because I see these in other people's vlogs all the time. Well, I definitely found something I'm going to be taking home today. I love munchlings. Love, love, love munchlings. This Mushu, like, celery boat thing, pretty rare, pretty valuable. He's only like $3, so he's definitely going to come home with me. There's actually far more Splash Mountain things here than I thought there was going to be. There's an entire boat, an entire log for Splash Mountain. It actually might be, is this a Disneyland one? It might be Disneyland, because theirs is back to back, kind of like our Space Mountain is here, and not side to side, like their Space Mountain is. 3 different outfits from the Diamond Horseshoe, which used to have a musical show out in our Frontierland. It makes me wish that we still had the show out there, or at least its own, like, unique restaurant. It's just an extension of Liberty Tree Tavern now. Here's some more costumes. This is from the Hippity Hoppity Springtime Daytime Parade in Tokyo. And you can see kind of the model there wearing the outfit, but it was a very large, elaborate cupcake situation. It's cool seeing some, like, international park stuff here too. There is quite the snow globe collection here. If you guys are familiar with Disney's game in the 90s and 2000s, there was snow globes everywhere. They don't really do a lot of snow globes anymore. They just really don't do a lot of adult collectibles anymore, which is so unfortunate, because, like, there's definitely an audience, and I even have some of them myself. There's an entire dump bin of headwear, including these. These were the glow-at-the-show hats that California Adventure debuted with World of Color. I actually used to have this hat. It is one of the most uncomfortable things I've ever worn on my head, and I unfortunately did not keep it, but they used to light up and synchronize with music with the show. I think I found my new theme park cup. Ooh, what is that? They're like film negatives. That's Leota Toombs. That's Madame Leota. So it's like the film that they project onto her. And over here is Thurl Ravenscroft, who is one of the busts. Oh, this makes me miss, like, the Star Wars Weekends era before the company bought Star Wars. Like, they used to have fun with it. They used to make it campy and silly. And here was Mickey as Luke Skywalker, and every other character were, like, the other main characters. Like, Goofy was Darth Vader. In case you weren't around for the world premiere of The Hunchback of Notre Dame back in 1997, they've got a hat here for you. Blanket for the world premiere of Pocahontas back almost 30 years ago, debuted in Central Park, one of the most ambitious world premieres of all time. They actually have a decently small collection of pillows and blankets and things that used to be in the resorts. So I wonder what this green one used to be from. It looks kind of familiar to me. It says Saratoga Springs. So yeah, when these rooms get redone and revamped, they take all the old stuff and into places like here, and then all the new pillows and blankets show up at the new resorts. Here's a comforter, which I'm gonna just straight up guess that it belongs to the All-Stars, given the color and shapes of it. Here's some more All-Star stuff. Here's a table from the All-Star rooms. Speaking of the All-Stars, there's quite a bit of All-Star things here, but here is a display for the country section in All-Star Music. That's really cool. I didn't even know this even existed. This mirror looks like a giant headboard to a bed, but I can't tell, like, what resort it would have belonged to. Let me know if you guys know where this goes, because my guess is Cinderella Castle, but I could be totally wrong. Here's a little selection of different theme park tickets from across the years, and the first one that caught my eye was this Discovery Island one. This is still physically there. It's an island that is off of Bay Lake over near like the Wilderness Lodge resorts. Everything is allegedly still there. It's one of the Disney's most famous abandoned things. But this is kind of the precursor to Animal Kingdom. When Animal Kingdom opened, they moved all the animals out of there and just kind of left it. So there's a whole history with Discovery Island. You guys can definitely look it up and find out more information. It's one of the most fascinating places in all of Walt Disney World. And kind of like when Disneyland first opened, here at the Magic Kingdom, we also used ticket books. So you would pay to get in, and then you'd have to pay to do everything. So you'd get these little tickets, and you could take them to the different rides, shows, and attractions. They were broken down by different values. So the most expensive things or most popular things were e-tickets. And looking from this, it was just like you got to buy books of 8 or 12, and it was good for anything. Yeah, here's an example of the Disneyland ones. This was a B ticket, so it was good for the Main Street Cinema, Fantasyland for Casey Jr., or the Alice in Wonderland attraction, or Adventureland, the Treehouse. So again, not the most exciting attractions. A was actually lower than this, but again, E-ticket was the one everyone wanted. It was all the real good stuff. Here's a small table of some Disney Cruise Line stuff, DCL, and the first thing, again, that caught my eye was this little, like, wind chime, maybe? I think it is a wind chime, but it's for the Panama Canal Cruise, the very first one they did back in 2011 on the Wonder, and not this year, but my very first Disney cruise was a Panama Canal Cruise on the Disney Wonder, so that is very cool to see. Up above here, there seems to be a model of the Wilderness, Fort Wilderness train that went around Fort Wilderness many, many years ago. I don't know how accurate it is to size. Like that Goofy looks like he's life size. So maybe this is a model of the train that went around there. That's really cool if that is. And somehow one of these wet paint signs ended up here. This is actually still used by the company. Like I've seen these actively used at like resorts as they're just doing maintenance. So they put these up so that you're not like Stitch and tracking paint everywhere. This looks like they had a Mission Himalayas on the Discovery Channel, likely to promote not only the attraction, but just the real Everest in general, which is a very cool crossover. Hard hats from the Disney Imagineers. So they wear these when working on projects, and they're all personalized. So if you were an Imagineer working on the construction sites, your name would be on there. So Brian here helped open Tokyo Disney Sea. A whole tub full of watches, both adult and child. I really like this cute Fox and the Hound one. You don't see anything for Fox and the Hound, but I like that it's just a little cute little kid's digital watch. A whole bunch of paper goods situated in this one. Oh, is that Splash Mountain? Oh, it is. Oh, let's guess. We're gonna say $45. 25, that's not horrible. Is that a sticker? I think it's a bumper sticker. That's cool. I also just realized that this is in like an old map display. In case you missed out on some of the very limited edition Trader Sam's mugs, they've got a whole bunch of Haunted Mansion ones, which are appropriately priced at $125. But they also have the one for Jose from Enchanted Tiki Room. Ooh, I do have this green piranha though. I didn't realize I was sitting on a mug worth $145. Oh, and then all the balloons they used to fly above Walt Disney World. I wish they'd bring like fun little random things like this back. Like, let me see a giant floating castle or a giant Mickey head. There's a bunch of blueprints and posters that the owner said was in here. So we're just gonna open a couple random doors and see the cool little things we find. Ooh, okay, we already found a cool one. Hitchhiking Ghost with Mickey, Donald, and Goofy. Oh, it's signed, so it's probably very expensive. Ooh, look at this Tower of Terror one. Ooh, Paradise Pier Hotel. I've stayed there before. That's now the Pixar Hotel over at Disneyland. But yeah, this one, I feel very nervous handling this. Also signed, so I'm gonna guess probably like $700. Oh my god, this is huge. Oh my god, this George keeps coming. Looks like maybe trading cards for Animal Kingdom, like before they were cut. It's just different animals you can see out on Kilimanjaro safaris. Ooh, Millennium Celebration. That's cool. And yes, if you guys did not know, there was a giant Mickey hand. He wasn't holding a spoon, he was holding a wand. But the 2000, these were here, I think, till like 2007. It was a very long time. I also just realized this Epcot poster was for Food and Wine for 2000, so 25 years ago. It was less than a month. Can you imagine that? Food and Wine Festival being less than a month. Now it starts in August. In case you were wanting a sugar packet from the Disneyland 50th anniversary, they've got it here. We're gonna be there for the 70th, so maybe I need to save my sugar packet for 20 years and bring it here. Oh, here's a menu for Abracadabar. Never been to Abracadabar. It's over at Boardwalk Resort. I actually really want to go there at some point. $20 for this menu, and nothing really fancy about it. It's crazy when things like retain value that's just pretty normal. But it's old enough that I don't see like any specialty drinks on here, like nothing like fun. It's all pretty straightforward. There's even some brand new things, like this is literally a brand new popcorn container. Like these are recently added to the parks as of like either late last year or early this year. They have a Sea Base Alpha jacket from Epcot, like from this Living Seas attraction. That's wild to have. One of the more unique things I have found since being here is this Little Mermaid McDonald's Golden Toy Set. This was for, I think, the VHS release. I remember these being at the restaurant. I just didn't know that they sold like an entire collection of like all the really gold pieces in this really cool like treasure chest box. Yeah, so here's all of them. So these toys existed like in regular Happy Meals, they just weren't this gold edition. And even comes with a certificate of authenticity. That is crazy. Even in their bathroom, they have things you can purchase, a bunch of different posters, because she mentioned there's a Splash Mountain one in here, but there's so much more. Oh my gosh, opening of DCA. That's crazy. Yeah, here's the Splash Mountain one. Splash Mountain all the way down. Grand opening 1992. Well guys, thank you so much for coming along with me today to Recycling the Magic, this really cool vintage store up in Oakland, Florida. I am overwhelmed by how much I got to see today in such a short amount of time. I was really only in there for about 2 hours, and the store is not very big, but they somehow managed to cram so much history and just nostalgia and so many rare and unique finds into one location. And I asked her, because they've been doing this for a very long time, I asked like where some of these things come from, because there are some things in there that are from some random event they had 25 years ago that was a one-night thing, and the item they have is in mint condition. And she said that not only do they seek out different estate sales from all across the country, but she works with a bunch of different retired cast members. People bring things to sell all the time. Like while I was in there, brand new things were added to the store, and then as they were added, people were in there being like, how much is this? How much is this? Because they couldn't keep up with how fast the demand was. But that makes repeat visits to this store an absolute necessity, and it makes me want to come back in like another month or so just to see what's different in there. I asked what the hot commodity is right now, and of course it is Dino Land. She did point out some of the things that were for sale. Some of the things I didn't even show you guys because I was so overwhelmed by how much they had to offer in there. But it'll be interesting to see what happens with the future of Walt Disney World and the closures that are happening, like Muppet Vision 3D, Rock and Roller Coaster changing, Tom Sawyer's Island going away, and the things that end up here. But I want to show you guys some of the things that I purchased because I am not leaving empty-handed. Okay, first things first, I did buy the Country Bear Musical Jamboree poster. They had 2 of them. They wanted $25 each for them, and I thought that was a little steep, but this is like the official attraction posters, and they did an amazing job modernizing this show for today's audience, because this is a show they easily could have gotten rid of. And I also grabbed this button for Extraterrestrial Alien Encounter, which is the single most scariest attraction Disney has ever built. And I don't think I was supposed to get the deal that I did for it, because I think I only paid $1. It was in the dump bin full of all the other buttons, and I think it's supposed to be in the locked case, and somehow it ended up over there, but he still honored it, so thank you guys so much for honoring that, because this is one of my favorite attractions that I never got to experience because it is so crazy that they decided to go with something so terrifying. And of course I did grab a whole bunch of the Disney Munchlings because I love those. Not an antique by any means, they're still very, very new to the parks, but I collect them and they were only $3 a piece. So at that price, why not? If you guys haven't done so already, make sure you guys like our video, subscribe to our channel, hit the notification bell so you guys get updates on all of our future adventures, and let me know in the comments 2 things. 1, what was your favorite thing you guys saw inside of Recycling the Magic? What was your favorite piece of nostalgia that you saw? Something that you would purchase if you had the unlimited funds to do so. And what's your favorite retired Disney attraction? Your favorite extinct Disney attraction could either be here, Disneyland, it could be out in the international parks. So what's something that you are so sad to see gone, or that you never got to experience that you're sad is gone? And as always, thanks for making memories with us. I've been Adrian. See you guys next time. Bye.